Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bloomfield Board of Education for our regular meeting, September 10th, today at 7 p.m. Would you please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that we do have a full quorum. Everybody is present, and I'm now calling this meeting to order. Mrs. Bolton, would you read our opening statement?
Yes. Good evening. As Secretary of the Bloomfield Board of Education, I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present and to our television viewers. The board superintendent and I are pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate achievement, review information, and make policy decisions related to the effective operation of the Bloomfield Public Schools. This is a regular meeting, and all items that will be discussed or voted on this evening have been posted as required by state law. As the Bloomfield Board of Education, we are here to set goals, listen to the reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. We are not here to make management decisions or solve the problems of individuals. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent. Meetings of the board are open to the public. It is not the time when the board conducts its business of governing the school system in a public arena. The regular meetings are not regular meetings with the public. Therefore, comments from the audience will be confined to the time designated for the public to address the board. Decorum and courtesy are important elements in effective public meetings. Please silence your cell phones or communication devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it is legally mandated that proceedings be accurately recorded, the board chair may have to ask for order periodically should noise begin to interfere with our recording capabilities. I am pleased that you have taken the time this evening to join us, and we are very proud of this school system, and thank you for your interest in Bloomfield Public Schools.
Thank you, Mrs. Bolton. Moving on to our agenda, approval of the minutes, special meeting, June 4th, 2019. Mr. Walters.
I move that the Bloomfield Board of Education approve the minutes from the June 4th, 2019, 7 o'clock p.m. special board meeting as presented.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and second. Any questions, edits, corrections? Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is so ordered. It's item B, approval of minutes. This was a second special meeting on June the 4th. Mr. Walters?
I move that the Bloomfield Board of Education approve the minutes from the June 4th, 2019, 6:15 special board meeting as presented.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any questions, edits, corrections? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approve. Yeah. Opposition, please. Sounds like unanimous. Okay, I apologize. Approval of the minutes, special meeting, July 18th. Mr. Walters?
I move that the Bloomfield Board of Education approve the minutes from the July 8th, 2019 special board meeting as presented.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. Any questions, edits, corrections?
July 18th.
July 18th, yes.
Sorry.
Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It is so ordered. Presentations. Students, convocation, keynote speakers. Mrs. McCann?
Yes. Good evening, Board Chair, Superintendent Thompson, board members, our sitting and live viewing audience. This year, as we kicked off the 2019-2020 school year, we were fortunate to shine the spotlight on 4 of some of our best and brightest Bloomfield scholars. Our community at large were moved and inspired from such a well-received message. Katana Tate, Timothy Hagan, Victoria Phillips, and Janelle Thompson served as our keynote speakers to promote this year's theme, which is "Let every step you take move you forward." We are now going to show you a snippet of a video of the students' recitation of the poem entitled "Equipment" by Edgar Guest.
Our keynote speakers are going to share with you a poem entitled "Equipment" by Edgar Guest.
Figure it out for yourself, my lad. You're all that the greatest of men have had. 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a brain to use if you be wise. With this equipment, they all began, so start from the top and say, I can.
Look them over, the wise and great. They take their food from a common plate. With similar knives and forks they use. With similar laces they tie their shoes. The world considers them great and smart, for you all they had when they made their start.
You can triumph and come to skill. You can be great if only you will. You're well equipped for the fight you choose. You've got legs and arms and a brain to use. And the man who has risen great things to do begins his life with no more than you.
You are the handicap in your space. You are the one who must choose your place. You must see where you want to go, how much you will study the truth to know. God has equipped you for life, but He lets you decide what you want to be.
Courage must come from the soul within.
The man must furnish the will to win.
So figure it out for yourself, my man.
You were born with all that the greatest had.
With your equipment, they all began. Get a hold of yourself and say, I can.
I can.
I can.
I can.
And you can too.
So please join me in thanking our student leaders. Katana. Ladies.
Remember you from the Black History Program. You're still doing big things. Yeah, okay, good job. Very, I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you.
You did it with such confidence. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Where you going to college?
She got a little.
We'll see you next year.
Yes. It's time to think now.
Next up, we are pleased to recognize Chef Paul Waskelowitz, our Bloomfield High School culinary arts instructor. And under Chef's direction, students who partake in this elective are often seen preparing, cooking, and serving food for a host of events throughout the Bloomfield community. One of our district's priority is family and community engagement. Chef has developed partnerships with Habitat for Humanity via participation in the annual Gingerbread House fundraiser in the house that students built, where our students actually built a home here in Bloomfield. In addition, Chef spearheaded a partnership with the United States Army, sending delicious cookies to the troops in the 35th Engineer Brigade. And he was also instrumental in hosting the class of 1956 reunion. So please join me in welcoming and congratulating our chef. Join us at the podium.
It's been a long time, huh, Don?
Long time.
Thank you for my family for being here, guys. Take out a busy schedule you have, and thank you to the board. I've been in Bloomfield all my life. Yes, I grew up in West Hartford. And Don, I've known you since like the beginning, sports and stuff. And I've always admired you because of your dedication. And you bleed orange and blue. Well, I'm a hall boy, and I bled blue, and white's kind of a neutral color. But I've been infused with orange. So I'm a blue and orange guy too. All right, man, thank you so much. I'm proud to be part of Bloomfield, honored. It's a pleasure. Love the kids 99.9% of the time. And a thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Chef. Good job. Thank you.
Thanks for always having a snack for me.
Where are the cookies today, right?
Public PTO comment? Do we have, yeah, I'll bet you we do. I have 3 names on the list. Just a reminder, it's our board policy. Please come up to the mic when I call your name. Give us your name, your address, and you have 2 minutes to speak. So first up is Badunzi Graham Days.
So I see you guys have taken a minute away from the public speaking, and that's okay. Vadanzi Graham Days, 89 Wittenberry Avenue. I'm here to hold you all accountable for the destruction of Bloomfield Public Schools. Now, the thing about it is that you can recognize the students that are excelling, and God bless all of you children that are excelling. The unfortunate part about it is a lot of your peers are not. I got a problem with that. Okay, I feel as though this Board of Ed is trying to extortion, additional funds from our town council that you people, okay, knew that you weren't going to get. A matter of fact, as early as January, Dr. Thompson himself said that he was promised a position to be the Commissioner of Education. Mr. Guzman, his financial officer, during the finance discussions for the budget, as well as Finance Committee at Town Council, said that 5 positions would be cut here at Central Office. At that time, he could not identify who those 5 people were. Okay, now versus eliminating the 5 positions here, what you've done is you've eliminated 1 here or there, you've decreased the per diem hours of some. But what you have also done is eliminated a lot of the frontline staff that the kids in particular at the middle school need in order to get an equitable education. I feel that you are all very selfish, self-serving, okay? And your ancestors would be very distraught and disturbed by your behavior. The reason being, what was the purpose of Brown versus O'Neill if it weren't for equitable education? Okay? I am so disappointed in all of you. I have grown up knowing most of you all of my life. May not have agreed with your policy, but I still respected you anyway. Okay? At this point in time, I am utterly disgusted that you put yourself, your position of quote-unquote power and status before these children here in Bloomfield. And as far as I'm concerned, the state made the right decision, Dr. Thompson, that you not become, okay, our commissioner.
Ms. Graham Days, please wrap it
My 2
up.
minutes is up? Okay, then. I'd like to thank you very, very much for your time, but I hope that you all do some soul searching, because you are all out of order as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much. Karen Wallace?
Good evening, I'm Karen Wallace, 319 Tungus Avenue, and I'm a parent with 1 left for her senior year at BHS, but I've had 2 others go through this system. Before I start, just let me say that Town Council is going to hear this too. There are rumors going around that there's a power play between the Board of Ed and the Town Council. Frankly, I don't care. You guys can think you have power, they think they have power. We're the ones with power, and we're going to prove it. The parents, the community, Dr. Thompson and his staff, as well as the Board of Ed and the previous town council, worked extremely hard to bring our schools up from the bottom of the barrel towards the top. And now it seems like we're going backwards. Well, we're not going back. I'm here specifically to address BHS. Mr. Maletti has done a great job, and it has reflected not only in the test scores of the students, but in the sports, the arts, and most especially student morale until this year. BHS asked for an 11% budget. They got 3%. That's not even a compromise. That's giving a middle finger to the kids, telling them they don't matter. Classes have been cut. Positions have not been filled. You just recognized Chef Paul. How is he going to teach kids how to cook when there's no budget for his class? There's no French class. AP classes have been cut. AP classes that these kids need to get to college. They're gone. Staffing positions, teachers, support staff, gone. BHS was slated to have around 500 kids. They have almost 600. How are you going to make sure that the kids at the bottom, as well as the kids at the top, get the attention they deserve?
Could you please wrap it up, Ms. Wallace?
Yes, I'll wrap it up. The budget is supposed to go to the schools, full stop. The bottom line is we voted you in, we voted the town council in. And your job as public servants is to give these kids the best possible educational experience they can have. We will not go backwards. We are not waiting until next school year. You are going to fix this, and you're going to fix it now, or we'll fix it in November.
Thank you. Alicia White.
Hello. I'd like to speak on behalf of me and my friend Nadej Vincent. Currently, we were suspended from school BHS because we were jumped. I stepped first out of natural reaction not to initiate a dispute. My sister got her head stomped on, and we got scratches and bruises all over us. BHS security failed to protect our safety. Administration failed to protect us from this situation. They knew it was going to happen. They have cameras in the school. They've seen the students outside of our classroom. My point being is, we have displayed a deceptive image of what Bloomfield is really about, and we need to stop and show what is really going on. Thank you.
Did you say we had 2 others?
Some folks who didn't sign in.
Huh?
There are some individuals that did not sign in.
Okay. Please come forward.
Hi, sorry. My name is Miriam Lewis from 48 Kenwood Circle. This is my first time at a meeting, so I didn't know the protocol.
Can you hold for
Yes,
1 second,
sure.
please? Ms. McCann, would you take a few minutes and speak to that student, Alicia White, please, before she leaves, so we can get a little more information? Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hi,
Please proceed.
Miriam Lewis, and we actually spoke on the phone recently, and I appreciate
Yes.
it. I'm just here to publicly echo the concerns that others have raised, again, with the budget cuts that have happened, specifically at the kindergarten level. I have a kindergartner that started, and back in May, we were told that class sizes would be 10 to 14 kids, that they were approved for 8 classes. My daughter started, when school started a couple weeks ago, and there's 22 kids in her class, and the number was increasing. I understand the time frame, that there's an October 1st deadline and that there may be some adjustments made, but 22 kids is just too much. There are no aides in the classroom. I think that investing in the schools starts at kindergarten, and Bloomfield has been doing a great job, as others have said in the past, and we need to keep that up. We've invested in the town, and we've decided to stay here and send our kids to school here, and surrounding districts are doing better by their children. And I think that, we need to work together with the council and find a way to solve this issue and, increase staffing. And my other concern, that was the first one, and then today, with the polling, that really took me by surprise, showing up at my daughter's school for pickup. And, at this day and age, we have a lot of emphasis on securing the schools. And when we start school, there's, a whole procedure about letting people into the school from the front desk. It's supposed to be a system where only pre-approved people are allowed in. And today it was a total free-for-all. The police, I saw them when I was leaving. They had shown up. They said they were on rotation around the various schools. They were not there when I was in the polling place. My kids were just, all the kids were just there and totally exposed. People were coming in. There was no check on who's coming in until you get to the actual desk to sign up. So it was very, very unsafe. And I look to the board to try to address that in the future. We also were not given any notice. I know there's signs around town that election is September 10th. That also would flag it for anyone who's looking to do harm, I would say. And I think that's a real concern. And I think that, we were not given any indication of what the school would be doing to handle the security at the school, if there were going to be police presence, like what they would be doing to proactively protect our kids that are there all day.
Would you please wrap it up?
Yep, but that's it, and I appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank you.
It was 48 Kenwood Circle.
There was one other? That's it, okay. I thank you. Hmm?
She called the office. She called the office.
Okay. Okay, superintendent's report.
Good evening, board members, colleagues, families, and our television viewing audience. We are excited to welcome everyone to the 2019-2020 academic year. On Monday, August 26th, Bloomfield welcomed back staff for an inspirational convocation. Our theme was taken from Miss Oprah Winfrey, "Let every step you take move you forward." Just to be clear, I too am moving forward. And I'm very excited to be with you in my 8th year as superintendent of Bloomfield Public Schools. I'm energized about this new academic year, the challenges we face, and the potential for great success. Bloomfield's first day was on Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. Our schools and classrooms were clean and ready to welcome staff and students. Teachers and instructional leaders were prepared for a year focused on improving teaching and learning. The buses ran on schedule with minimum issues. The district invited fathers and male role models to welcome students as they arrived on their first day of school. More than 2,200 students are currently registered at our 7 district schools. Enrollment numbers can be unpredictable until October 1, but early indications are that we have an increase of students in our middle and high schools. We started on this journey to transform Bloomfield Public Schools in 2011, and our ultimate goal is to improve educational opportunities outcomes. We believe all students should be prepared for college and meaningful careers, and thank you, and we look forward to a highly productive year.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Any questions regarding the opening of the school? Okay. We have nothing under old business. Under new business, our early start report from Mrs. Cullinan.
Good evening. Board Chair Mr. Harris, Dr. Thompson, Board of Education members, and our viewing audience. Tonight, I will report on the 2019 Early Start program. In the overview, the purpose of the program, or tonight, is to share some of the research supporting why summer programming is so important. We will describe the highlights and the curriculum that was used in the Early Start program for Bloomfield students in grades 1 through 8. And we hope the payoff is closing the achievement gap through the summer program. Why Early Start program? There's a lot of research out there that tells us that summer learning loss contributes to even high school dropout rate. Student achievement gaps widen significantly during the summer. For many young people, the summer opportunity gap contributes to gaps in achievement, employment, and college and career success. You can see that there is a source from the National Summer Learning Association, and that every summer, some of our youth lose as much as 2 to 3 months in reading and 2 months in math skills if not participating in summer programming. So the curriculum, instruction, and assessment discussion, we really target our students' needs in mastering Common Core standards with 26 instructional hours in reading and writing, 15 instructional hours in math, and 8 instructional hours in social and emotional learning, which was new this year. We continue the instructional strategies that are tied to the standards, such as using text-dependent questions, citing evidence, and developing perseverance to solve problems. We also used performance tasks and close reading techniques. As I said, the social-emotional piece, learning component was new this year. We had it in grades 1 through 6, and during that period of time, students discussed topics, wrote in journals, and gained a better understanding of their social and emotional well-being. Also this year, the instruction, for the most part, was for the teacher of record during the 2018-19 school year. The next slide will show you our attendance in Early Start and a comparison between the 2018 Early Start. And you can see that in 2018, our percentage of attendance was 82.5, and in 2019, it's 81.5. It's about a 1% difference. We had 281 students attending, and you can see by grade level the average attendance. We tracked it very closely. We had personal phone calls made to the homes, and even some of our teachers visited some of the homes to encourage our families to send the students. The schedules by the schools, students from Laurel and Metacomet went to Laurel Elementary School, while students entering grades 5, 6, 7, and 8 were at Carmen Air Race Intermediate and Middle. Typical schedule was breakfast, academics, lunch, and then the social-emotional learning piece. We were very strategic this year. Breakfast for our older students was kind of a grab and go. It was served in the areas of the classrooms, and the students took their breakfast, went in, and started on some reading or writing work right away. We wanted to save and put as much time on the academics as possible. Transportation, again, was provided for all students, our IEP students, students with medical conditions, and our students who reside in homeless or in shelters. Again, student support services and community engagement. We had our nurses at each site, special education teachers at each site, instructional assistants in according with students' IEPs, and as part, again, of our priority 4, where we link to the community, our Prosser librarians read weekly to our students in grades 1 to 2, with a shared theme of a universe of stories. These are just some of our pictures of some of our students that were enjoying some of the work during Early Start, and I want to thank Dr. Silver for providing these pictures. Laurel and Metacomet academics in language arts, grades 1 and 2 used a Wilson Foundations program in Open Court to help support some foundational skills that our early readers needed. In grades 3 and 4, we used Nuzella, which is a computer-based program. It gave our students the opportunity to read stories about the real world, develop natural and social vocabulary. It also expects and exposes our students to read charts, maps, diagrams, and how to use data. The academics in math for Laurel and Meta, grades 1 and 2 focused on early numeracy skills and the adding, subtracting, and counting by 1s, 5s, and 10s. Grades 3 and 4 focused on those critical areas of a value of a number, problem solving, mental math, place value, and computational skills. We also introduced our students to the Go Math units that they would be getting ready for in grades 1, 2, 3, and 4. The highlights at our Laurel Metacomet were that the materials were of high interest to the students and they were engaged in them. The guided reading instructional approach, students worked with teachers in small groups. They were provided with support that helped them use problem-solving skills. The staff also felt that the social-emotional learning component during Early Start was very successful and helped students raise concerns in a safe and nurturing environment. And they saw this as very productive and positive as we got our students ready to come in to the school year. And again, the library came to promote reading to all of our classes. More pictures of our students engaged in tasks. And now a little bit about the academics at CASE and CAMS. Language arts students participated in performance tasks in both grades 5 and 6. They used a strategy of close reading, selected response questions, and then they wrote constructed responses to it. In math, our students used problem-solving skills to support understanding. In the social-emotional learning, they used the Choose Love curriculum to discuss topics, write in journals, and gain a better understanding of their social and emotional well-being. The program also utilized a performance task in language arts and in math. And in our 7th and 8th grade areas, interim assessment blocks, which are assessments, were used to assess students' needs, and once analyzed, there's very targeted instruction provided in ELA and math. The highlights: teacher attendance was very high throughout the programs. Very few substitutes were needed. Instructional time was increased due to the revised breakfast and lunch schedule. There's a strong focus on academics without the enrichment component. And in our 7th and 8th grade, they did a co-teaching model between the math and the language arts. It proved to be very effective and engaging for students. Students worked in cooperative groups throughout the program, and these techniques helped to build life skills along with academic skills. And finally, just in summary, I won't go through everything, but it was a 3-week program, as you know, Monday through Friday, grades 1 through 8. It ran July 8th to the 26th. The academics were age appropriate based on needs that teachers identified during the school year. Breakfast, lunch, and transportation were provided, and we felt that students were highly engaged during the 4-hour academic program. And the 3-week program was attractive for our certified teaching staff, so as I mentioned earlier, we had the teachers of record providing instruction to our students. All in all, the principal's summary of the program was that they felt it went very well. They were very pleased with the academic work and the academic component of it, and they had a lot of positive feedback from parents.
Any questions for Ms. Coleman?
Yes, do you track the students that attend the summer program? Once school starts back, are they tracked? Do you see an increase in their academic performance? And if so...
We've done some of that tracking in the past, but I know the intermediate principal is very interested in looking at that. and just seeing what impact it does have. So we are taking that suggestion and working with it.
Other comments, questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
CABE update. CABE is the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education. We had a meeting today with members of the state board and commissioner at 5 o'clock this evening. Just kind of a meet and greet and asked some really difficult questions on achievement gap and improvement of our schools across the state. I want to draw your attention, everybody's attention, to the brochure you should have in your folder that's of a course that's being, a workshop that's being offered at CABE next week, Wednesday, the 18th, from 9 to 11, the future of public education. And then finally, CABE CAPS, which is a Association of Public School Superintendents Conference, November 15th and 16th at the Marriott in Mystic. Board comments. Mr. Mr. Friedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Parents, first of all, I want to thank you for coming out. And we all, collectively, as members of the board, appreciate when you do come out with your concerns. And believe you me, we are listening. We listen to everything. And we are striving to make sure that our young people are getting the best education possible. So once again, we invite you to come out to us, ask questions of us, ask questions of our superintendent, and continue to come to these meetings. I did attend the convocation. It was wonderful to see so many of our teachers come back smiling and happy, looking forward to educating our young people. And I guess one of the other big things, I want to state my appreciation to the Bloomfield Board of Education, our superintendent, our chairperson, staff. I see John Robinson back there, Wayne Casper, for providing the local access station, Bloomfield Access TV, a new home. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know what we would have done without you. In those weeks that I've been there, the staff has been wonderful to me. I watched teachers come in, asking what we're doing. And the last week or so, watching those teachers come in early in the morning before school started, preparing their rooms, preparing to teach our young people. It's a wonderful thought to just actually see that take place. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Davis.
Yes, good evening, and thank you again to the parents for coming out. And my board comments, I normally don't share much, but in the past week in preparation for this meeting, I had been thinking about a lot of things that I kind of withheld last year when I sat on this board. But tonight, coincidentally, the issue that one of the parents brought up about the kindergarten class was first and foremost on my list, because when we were preparing for the budget last year, I specifically brought to the point of classroom sizes for our kindergartners. I was adamant about the fact that we should be really conscious of the classroom sizes in the kindergarten class. And I was assured that the classroom sizes wouldn't pass 15. We talked about it in detail. I don't know if it's in public comment or if it's in the minutes reflected, but it was something that I was adamant about because I know how important it is. Since school has started, I have been contacted by 3 parents who have kindergartners at Laurel School. Not only did they express to me their concern about, as the parent who spoke today, with having 22 children in their classroom with no additional assistance in the classroom, not only on voting time, but the chaos that happens on a daily basis in that room. And to one of the parents that I spoke with said that Dr. Thompson was present at one day, and she was waiting to see his reaction about her concern. And I didn't go into any details about Dr. Thompson's presence, but it did, you know, it really hurt me, the fact that there are 22 kids in a classroom, a kindergarten classroom. And I'm a parent of a graduate who my son just graduated. He's on the Southern. So I know that there's an opportunity for our district to do good work. But if we don't start where in kindergarten and making sure that our children have adequate and equitable opportunity, we're gonna miss the ball. And putting 22 children in a classroom, Dr. Thompson and Dr. Guzman, whoever's in charge of this, is doing our children a disservice. In addition, I reached out to some of our colleagues at the State Board of Education, and their response about how things are happening. We have overpaid and underutilized staff here at Central Office. I'm going to bring this up consistently throughout my term on this Board of Education because we have to do something differently. I know we've had students excel. I know, like, we've acknowledged students today, but if we have 3 staff and a part-time staff here at Central Office, and with their salaries and their benefits totaling $500,000, we should have some type of authority over hiring some teachers to help with those students in those kindergarten classes and moving forward. But again, my concentration right now is on the kindergarten class because we have to catch them early. And I've said this on numerous times. I've said this on numerous occasions. I don't take offense to anyone sharing their concerns for their children. We have to speak up for our children. We have to make an investment in what we do here. I don't get offended when people come, like Ms. Grandays came and said we are responsible for it. We are responsible if we're in this position. We have to be able to make a difference and ensure that our children get a quality education, some shape or form through the town council. I'm not a power person. I'm not here for power. I'm here for the people. I'm here because I'm a taxpayer just like everybody else. And over these years, I've learned exactly what my tax dollars are for, just like your tax dollars are for. And we need to make sure that our children are getting what these taxpayers' money is included. In this slide that you put, I noticed you put something about, which again, I don't understand how we can consider low income. You said every summer, low income youth could lose 2 to 3 months in reading. When you spoke, you didn't mention that part. That's concerning to me. We got low income people, but we got staff that's making 4 staff making $500,000. We got to do something differently. Thank you.
Mr. Moore?
Oh, wow. I think the only thing that I just basically like to say, first of all, I'd like to thank the parents, the students, administration, everybody for coming out. But I think the only concerns that I have, basically, it's a big concern of mine is, I don't think arguing or fussing gets us anywhere. I think we all need to come together. I don't think the board arguing with the council or the council arguing with the board benefits nobody. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here for the kids. Okay. The other thing that I just basically want to say is this. When I was leaving my house today, I live on Philly Street, and I think one of the parents brought up this concern about the police being out low school, whatever. And that was really a dangerous situation. And I went around some other schools. It wasn't only at Laurel, it was at other schools too. It was at other schools. Now, I can't tell you that we can't, I'm not gonna say that we can't use the polling place as the school as a polling place. I can't say that. I don't know what we're gonna do. But I know this much. If my kids they're out of school now and everything, but if they were going to this, what I seen today, I would have really been frustrated like that parent was, because anything could have happened. I mean, it was just so easy to get in there. I left, what's his name, a little while ago before I came here, one of the polling places, and I just watched people go in and out, in and out, in and out. I was like, oh, this is weird. So we got to do something. It's a dangerous situation. We all know about the shootings. We don't want that to happen in our schools or anywhere. I don't want it to happen anywhere and stuff. But we got to do better. We got lucky today. We got lucky. I don't want to be lucky.
Thank you. Mrs. Bolton?
Thank you, Chairman Harris. I'd like to just reflect on the statement that's read earlier in the meeting about we as board members are very proud of the school system, and thanking obviously the viewing and listening audience. But I also say that while we're very proud of the school system, and I agree with the parent who mentioned we will not go backwards. I mean, there is a lot that under Superintendent Thompson's leadership, the district has gone and made a lot of strides, and this would not be the year for us to go backwards. And we, as a former principal, I do understand when you have budget cuts, it impacts what can happen in the school, and it hurts in a very, very difficult way. And so I applaud our school leadership for how they're trying to manage during these difficult times. I too, again, I think it's been mentioned before about the safety in the school. I was very, very concerned to the core when I went to vote today. And the numbers of people, not that there were that many going in at that time, but as the school leader, I would have been just very, very nervous about just anybody able to come. And as someone mentioned, there were signs around that kind of advertised when you can just get into the school. So I'm assuming, Dr. Thompson, that your team will review that process in the future. And the other one is, you know, I think it's been overstated at this point, but certainly not worth, not something that we should mention again, is just we really need to look at the kindergarten class size. Okay. Thank you so much.
Mr. Walters?
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I do echo some of the comments that the board members have made this evening in regards to school safety, particularly on voting, polling day, kindergarten size, so I'm not going to reiterate that. But I think you said the theme this year for the convocation was every step you take, move forward? Moving one step forward. Well, I believe that with that theme goes what we feel as board members and as a school district, that we don't want to go down. We don't want to step backwards. We do want to move forward. So with all of us being moving in the same direction of not wanting to move backwards, I'm sure that all things that are humanly possible for us not to move backwards will take place and will start taking place. I guess tonight I was excited about school starting. This is our first meeting of the year. And getting here, I guess the air has been taken out of me because I guess I wasn't expecting what I've heard tonight. I was expecting, I guess, positive reports. And I don't want to leave here with the glooming doom of we're going down, we're not getting better, and we're angry and we're fighting and budget issues. Yes, those things are happening, but I also want to look at the positive things that have happened already. First of all, I forgot how many men came out to welcome our students back to school this year. It was a wonderful experience. We traveled from one school to the other, welcoming students back. The superintendent, along with the board chair, myself, and other members from the cabinet, and other members in the community were there to welcome and celebrate the opening of school. And I think that's exciting. I also don't want to forget about the Early Start program and the positive outcomes of that program and how that positively impact our students as they progress in their academic school year. So yes, there are things that are happening that are negative that we're going to have to iron out, but they are still good things. So let's give it a balance, if you will. I think this is going to conclude my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to say thank you to the parents and to the students who came out tonight. Always willing to listen, and we're going to do the very best we can for your children. As Mr. Walters said, I was a part of that gathering of fathers who high-fiving kids on the first day of school. And we had a large crowd that was at the middle school. We went on to Metacomet. Some even started at the high school. In addition, I was at the convocation where we heard some wonderful student speakers that did more than just the poem that you heard expressed. They made a full presentation. A lot of conversation regarding budget, money. Just to clarify, and I'll be willing to hang around here and talk to anybody that wants to talk to me, we do not control money. The money is controlled by the town council. We submitted a budget that would have made those kindergarten classes stay at 14. Our budget was cut by 8%. They gave us just 3%. And so we have done the best we can with what we got. Now, having said that, Dr. Thompson has begun the process of adding a kindergarten teacher into the mix. So that should be coming into place very soon. So we will have one additional kindergarten teacher. We're not going to go backwards. I have been a resident of this town. I'm a graduate of Bloomfield High School, but I've been here for 60 years. All right? I do bleed orange and blue. This is my school system. I will not let it go downhill. Regarding the comments on the polling places, you are absolutely correct. We can do a better job with this. Let me just tell you this, though. At the November election, it's already in the calendar, and it's in the calendar every year. There's no school on that day. So the voting does not present an issue. The voting does present an issue when we have primaries like we have today. And with all of the activity, the inappropriate stuff that's going on across the country, yeah, you're probably right. We do need to do things a little different. So we can bring people in that need to vote in through a different door where they will not impact kids at all. So I am in agreement with you. I had a long talk with the principal over at Laurel when I went there to vote. And I mean, and he's a retired principal from another district who's he's the interim principal there now. You know, he's passionate about the kids. He's passionate about the kids, and rightfully so. So we will do a better job at that. We won't have another primary coming up for at least another year, but that gives us time to get it right. But in November, the November 5th election, school is canceled that day. So there is no school. There's professional development for staff, but the kids have the day off. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. We are adjourned.